Welcome back to another Charlotte Legacy League where we have Grixis Delver versus Stiflenaught. So it was brought to my attention that the way I was displaying the deck lists over after game one, if there was two, then you guys would know that the first person won who won game one. So I've changed it to add deck list to the beginning. Welcome to game one. Chris has kept 6 and Zach has kept 7. Chris is going to be on the play. We'll see him lead off on a Volcanic Island and a Dragon Race Chandler. So there is a slight thing here. Zach is actually on Stiflenaught, not Teamer Delver. When I looked through his list, I saw basically Delver things and didn't see the Stifles or the Dreadnoughts. So excuse the incorrect deck list on here. It's a pretty interesting matchup for both decks. They play similar. Zach does have the Stifle dot, which could be difficult for the Delver deck to deal with if you can land that 12/12 with Trample. The harder thing for that, though, is that they have to cast 2 spells that don't get counterspelled to really get onto the board. And the Grixis Delver deck, as you can see already, all they have to do is just land a Dragon's Rage Chandler and work through whatever the opponent's doing. So see if Zach has his own lead off here with looks like he's has a couple Dragon Rage Chandlers in his hand. So see if Chris has the answer to that in typical Delver fashion. He does not, but all right, basically on parity here at the beginning of the game. Chris does have a Force of Will, but he has a Unholy Heat for the Dragon's Rage Chandler that Zach has, and is able to dodge the Daze that's in Zach's hand as well. I've got mumbles for speech right now, so sorry about that. Chris, another land, and then an attack for 1. So at least it doesn't have its typical 3/3 already this early in the game. But that Wasteland is not very great for Zach at the moment. It's going to be an interesting game, that's for sure. Tough for anybody in this spot, especially going up against the Delver deck. He does have a grip compared to Chris's 3 cards, and he does have another Dragon Rage Chandler as well. So all right, we'll see a fetch from Chris here, and it looks like another it's a Lightning Bolt this time with a trigger off the Dragon Rage. He likes what he sees up top, so he's going to leave that. So still Daze proof here. It's like Zach does have Dreadnoughts in his hand. He just needs to find a Stifle. We'll get a Brainstorm out of this. Still no Delirium for Chris here, and I think he's missing a sorcery or a creature in his graveyard. So 1 back, 2 back, and then it's like he has another Daze in his hand as well, just to shore up in case Zach has anything else. So second Dragon Rage Chandler finds its way to the board, and still no Delirium, but another 1 across on Zach, down to 16. Alright. Maybe he finds it here. I mean, it would be great, but also he has a Daze in his hand, so not quite what he's looking for. Third Dragon Rage Chandler. Alright, so each of them have seen quite a few Dragon Rage Chandlers here. Another fetch, and looks like a Bowmaster this time to take out the Dragon's Rage Chandler. Still Daze proof, just killing it. Chris over there digging for some treasure, and not much Zach can do. I mean, he could cast the Daze, try and trigger the and maybe try and get a Delirium there, but I guess not. And then another attack, still no Delirium for Chris here, and now Zach has a pretty tough board to have to work through. So he does have a Stifle in his hand. It looks like maybe he's just looking for like a Force of Will or something, because he has the Dreadnought and the Stifle and a Daze. There's a Dress down there. He's got everything he needs. It's just he can't quite work through what Chris has going on here. So 4 damage coming across. I think he just needs a land. That's probably the biggest thing. So Dress down, and Chris of course has the Daze and a Force of Will in his hand. So we'll probably just see. We'll just see a Daze floating in blue mana. Double triggers. Alright, Delirium is on now, so we've got 8 power on board. Double Delirium, alright. That's tough. And he still has the Force of Will in his hand with a blue card, it looked like. There's another Dress Down. See if he can get this one to land. Did he just draw another Daze? What the fuck? Jesus. I thought we had Delirium there. Land, instant, creature. Oh, no sorcery. Okay, so no Delirium's not on yet. Alright, I thought we did. Dress Down number 2 coming. And Chris with all the Dazes in the world. We'll see another Daze. And Zach's probably like, God damn it. Still no Delirium. He is giving him all the time in the world for this. He does find another land, so he can go for it here, I guess. But, I mean, Chris still has the Force of Will, so that's kind of tough. So we'll see a Dreadnought come out. Chris already getting his sideboard ready. And there's the Stifle. And there's the Force pitching a Murktide. Double trigger. Alright, now Delirium's on. And that packs it up. We'll see you in game number 2. If you've been enjoying our content, please be sure to like, subscribe, and leave a comment below. Welcome back to game 2. Chris has kept 5, Zach's kept 6 in this game, and Zach leaves us on the play with a Scalding Tarn. Just like we saw last game and discussed, this is a very tough matchup for the Stiflenaught deck just because it has to land 2 spells in a row. And one of the spells, while it is a Dreadnought, just kills itself, so it doesn't really matter. We'll see a Bolt coming out of Zach for Chris's Dragon Race Chandler this time, and see if he can control the board a little bit better, not let him get away with everything that he did last game. See a Ponder off of Chris here. Look at the top 3, see what he likes, and if he doesn't like it, then we'll go from there. So, looks like he likes what he sees. He's not going to just ship it right back kind of thing. So, yeah, he does. So, we'll see a draw there, and then if he found a creature, we'll see a fetch and a creature come out as well. So, looks like he has a Meltdown in his hand there. So, yeah, there's Dragon Race Chandler off the fetch. See if Zach can work through this as well. Oh, there's a Daze, and then does Chris have to answer with a Force of Will? He does not. Alright, so Zach did a good job so far keeping the board clear from Chris, and we'll see where we go from here. Still no early threats coming from Zach to put pressure on him keeping his board clear. Hopefully a Murktide doesn't show up any minute now. And there's a Brainstorm from Chris, and see if he can find another threat to go with that. So, Zach does have a Pyroblast in his hand. I wonder if he's going to Pyroblast this at this point, just to stop Chris from making his hand great. So there's a Red Blast as well. Alright, Beta Red Blast out, and no Brainstorm for Chris. Back over to Zach. That's a Dreadnought, and there's a Wasteland, but still no Stifles or anything like that. So, floating a mana. Alright, he has a Red Blast in his hand as well. Or a Pyro. We'll take a peek at the top of Zach's hand there off that Mishra's Bauble. Just can't quite find what he's looking for here, which is not great. There's a Counterbalance in Chris's hand. Another Ponder as well. See if he likes the top 3. It's a Brainstorm. No, it's a Daze, a Wasteland, and something else. Or that's a fetch. It is. So he can shuffle the top of his library. I don't think he wants that Daze in that Wasteland. It's a little too late in the game for that. And a pass back over. See, this is where, like, if this were the Teamer Delmer deck, he would be dropping like a Murktide instead of the, you know, the Dreadnought. So that's like the pluses and minuses. Dreadnought Stifle's really cool because it's a 12/12 with trample that like get fucked kind of thing. But at the same time, like he could just be sitting on a Murktide, which would be amazing. So there's a Chandler from him. Another land for Zach. You could fucking hardcast this thing. Or you could almost hardcast a Murktide at this point. Pass back over to Chris. It's like we're probably going to see that. The counterbalance. Let's see if Zach wants to go ahead and Pyroblast that as well. He's having to think on it. I think he probably will. Yeah, there's the Pyro on that as well. So, not looking too good for Zach right now. We'll see an attack for 3. Delirium's up and running. After that enchantment hits the graveyard. Another Dreadnought. Jeez. So close. Alright, 13. He's got a Daze. Just nothing really working for him here. Let's see if Chris wants to Red Blast that back. Oh, it was a Bowmaster that. Jesus, that's even fucking worse. Alright, so he's going to get a ping here, and then he's going to be able to have a 4/4 Orc army. And Zach's going to have a tough time working through this, especially if he can't find the Stifle or Dress Down or anything like that to really help him out here. Can't quite make out what's in his hand. It's just going to be... Alright, it's a Bolt, Brainstorm, which is basically a dead card now. It looks like he's going to put the 2 Dreadnoughts back on top, shuffle those away. It's going to be kind of tough for him to work through this. It's just a lot of damage on the board, and he needs to be able to... Oh, man, this is tough. It's a tough watch. It's tough to commentate on, too. Not a lot of action happening on one side, so it's kind of been a one-sided match so far with the Delver deck really just pushing through. Double fetch from Zach. Let's see. Maybe I think he has an Uro, actually, which isn't bad, just not quite enough. So we'll see a Bolt on the Orc, and then let's see. We'll see. Yeah, he has an Uro, so an Uro comes out. Well, this Daze is going to get to put in some work now, which is kind of nice. He's been holding on to it all game, and ends up working out for him. So we'll see a Daze, and he'll get to pick up 3 life, put this land back down, and draw a card. So I guess, yeah, that resolves. So... Back up to 10 for Zach. He gets to draw a card. He'll put that island back into play off of the Uro trigger as well. And looks like he drew another Uro, which is good. But, I mean, he's still staring down 7 damage this turn. If he can get the Uro out of the graveyard, he'll be in good shape because he'll at least be able to block that 4/4. Pick up 3 life here. Well... I'll say that, looking at Chris's hand, he has the double force. So being able to play the Uro is fine, but he's not going to have enough. He does find a Dragon Rage Chandler, but it's still not enough because he's at 3 at the moment. And yeah, there's the Force of Will. He does have the Dragon's Rage, which still has Delirium, but not enough because he's at 3 and he's got 7 coming across, 4 and a 3/3. So I think that's probably going to be it for this game. Zach's just double checking everything to make sure he has Delirium. And depending on what Chris draws here, I don't think Zach has a way out of this. So he can block the 4/4, but he's still taking 3 in the air. So pass back over, and the penultimate attack here. Block the 4/4 and still take 3. Alright, thanks for watching, everybody. If you've been enjoying our content, please be sure to like, subscribe, and leave a comment below.